Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world with me, Deepika, coming up in the next 1 hour. To corner Pakistan globally, India to send 7 all-party delegations across the world. Army Chief Munir woke me at 2:30 a.m. on the 10th of May, says Pakistan's Prime Minister, admits India's missile hit Noor Khan airbase and other key locations. Iraq hosts Arab summit in Baghdad amid regional tensions. Summit focuses on fostering regional cooperation and addressing pressing issues. And in a high-stake encounter, Royal Challengers Bengaluru all set to take on Kolkata Knight Riders at M. Chinnaswamy Stadium today as IPL returns after a week's pause. Good evening to all the viewers joining us at this evening broadcast. To begin with the latest, Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif admitted that India's ballistic missiles hit Noor Khan airbase and other sites on the 10th of May. While addressing a ceremony held at the Pakistan Monument on Friday, Pakistan's Prime Minister Sharif said Army Chief General Asim Munir called him at around 2:30 a.m. local time to report the strikes. Sharif mentioned the use of local technology and Chinese jets by Pakistan's Air Force, but also confirmed that India's missiles hit their targets.
9 और 10 की दरमियानी रात में तकरीबन 2:30 बजे सिपा सलार जनरल सईद आसिम मुनीर ने मुझे सिक्योर फोन पे मुझे बताया कि वज़ीर-ए-आज़म साहब, हिंदुस्तान ने अपने बैलिस्टिक मिसाइल अभी लॉन्च किए हैं, एक नूर खान एयरपोर्ट में गिरा है और कुछ और दूसरे इलाकों में गिरे हैं.
India launched Operation Sindoor on the 7th of May as a decisive military response to the 22nd of April Pahalgam terror attack. Air Marshal A.K. Bharti presented the composite picture on the 12th of May of the targets engaged by the Indian Air Force during Operation Sindoor. After this, on the 10th of May, an understanding of the cessation of hostilities between India and Pakistan was announced.
We have targeted the length and breadth of the adversary. I'm sure most of you would have already seen the effect of these strikes on ground, courtesy the large number of videos and photographs being circulated in the media. A few representative examples from the open source are now being shown to you on the screen. In fact, 2 of them. This is the strike on the Noor Khan Air Base. And you can see the effect. I'm sure most of you have seen the video. I have also picked it up from your sources only. This is the aftermath of our strike at Raimiar Khan Air Base. You can see the massive crater that it has left on its runway.
In the context of Operation Sindoor and India's continued fight against cross-border terrorism, 7 all-party delegations are all set to visit key partner countries, including members of the UNSC, later this month. Members of Parliament from different parties, prominent political personalities and distinguished diplomats will be a part of each delegation. Shashi Tharoor, Ravi Shankar Prasad, Sanjay Kumar Jha, Bejayant Panda, Kanimozi Karunanidhi, Supriya Sule, Shrikant Eknath Shinde, each will lead 7 delegations. The all-party delegation will project India's national consensus and resolute approach to combating terrorism in all forms and manifestations. They would carry forth to the world the country's strong message of zero tolerance against terrorism. The delegation would also aim at exposing Pakistan's continued support for terrorism on the global stage. BJP's Member of the Parliament, Ravi Shankar Prasad, vowed on Saturday to convey India's concerns effectively in front of the international community after being named as the member of the delegation visiting key partner countries to project India's continued fight against cross-border terrorism.
बहुत अनुग्रहित हूं माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का, जो सांसदों का डेलीगेशन जा रहा है उसमें एक डेलीगेशन को लीड करने के लिए उन्होंने मुझे चुना है। जहां तक सुबह मुझे जानकारी मिली है कि मेरी अगुवाई में जो डेलीगेशन जाएगा वो सऊदी अरेबिया, बहराइन, कुवैत और अल्जीरिया जाएगा। तो जाकर के मैं ब्रीफिंग हम लोग लेंगे और फिर भारत का प्रभावी पक्ष और अपने प्रधानमंत्री जी की सोच और भारत की एकता इस पूरे मामले में।
Congress MP Shashi Tharoor on Saturday reacted to government's invitation to lead an all-party delegation to key partner countries. Taking to microblogging site X, Tharoor asserted that when the nation's interest is involved and his involvement is needed, he would readily step up to serve. He also said that he is honoured by the invitation of the Government of India to lead an all-party delegation to 5 key capitals. NCP leader Supriya Sule also expressed her gratitude towards Prime Minister Narendra Modi. She said that the mission is to convey India's united and unwavering message of zero tolerance against terrorism. Lauding Prime Minister's move, JDU leader Sanjay Jha said that it is a significant step towards the Prime Minister's relentless focus on eliminating terror. He assured that India's political parties stand united and firm in ensuring the nation's pride and glory. And I'm joined by DD India correspondent Dipendu Mondal. Dipendu, good evening. While this definitely sends a very strong message to other terror outfits that how India stands united together in an hour when we are fighting against terrorism, this also gives an internal message inside the country as well that how the different parties are coming together to fight against terrorism. How do you see it, and especially what is the diplomatic context of this very important move, Dipendu?
Well, Deepika, absolutely. This is a message that is not just going across the country, but also across the globe, that at a critical point of time like this, the country stands together, irrespective of all the political, ideological differences, the political opinions. The political parties must be having their ideological differences fighting inside the parliament, on the streets. But when it comes to national interest, when it comes to national unity, we are together. And of course, when it comes to Pakistan, we are more together. Also because of the fact that, Pakistan has been through its nefarious proxy war that it has been waging against the people of this country. It is now high time that the world sees, and this delegation of 7 members, in fact 7 different teams consisting of different members from across party lines, across political ideologies, going to different places around the world, including the United Nations, the United States, the Gulf, to the Far East, to Australia, to New Zealand, and also to Thailand, to Philippines, all these places, to Japan. All these, the delegation will talk about what Operation Sindoor was all about, and how these terrorists had come from across the border to wage a war against the unarmed civilians in Pahalgam, which saw the loss of life of 26 innocent civilians in a horrific terror attack, which still remains afresh amongst the people of this country. So it is indeed an effort that is being made by the government to reach out to the global community to once again expose the nefarious design, and to also to showcase to the world how Pakistani state-sponsored terrorism, which includes the political establishment of Pakistan as well as the military establishment of Pakistan, how they are supporting terrorists and terrorism in their soil, who is in turn waging a proxy war against India. So therefore, this entire program, or this entire this setting up of these teams who will be going to the different parts of the world to carry the message of India, that India is facing this proxy war of terrorism for decades now, and it is high time that Pakistan cracks down on their terrorists, hands over the terrorists back to India. And this has been the demand of the government of India, that all the terrorists that operates from the soil of Pakistan should be handed over to India, as well as both the Prime Minister of this country as well as the External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar did talk about how the Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir will also be discussed when they have talks with Pakistan. So therefore, this entire, if I may call this as an operation that the government of India is undertaking to reach out to the global community, to send out the message that, we have made precision strikes on the terror camps that were operating within the mainland Pakistan, which is the Bahawalpur and Murid, and the world, Deepika, knows about how Pakistan's government and the military establishment have been harboring terrorists. One cannot forget the fact that Osama bin Laden, who was responsible for the 9/11 attack, was found just 3 kilometers away from the Pakistani military base in Abbottabad. So the world knows the nefarious design and the design of Pakistan to hide terrorists within their soil. So therefore, it's just another effort by the government of India to reach out to the global community to once again bring to fore the discussion about how Pakistan is a state-sponsored terrorist country.
All right. Thank you so much, Dibyendu Mondal, for bringing us that important analysis. Now, India's Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar addressed the Jaipuriya National Convocation in New Delhi on Saturday. Speaking on the success of Operation Sindoor, the Vice President said that it was under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi that army attacked the headquarters of Lashkar-e-Taiba and other terrorist organizations. Vice President Dhankar also praised the army personnel that stood strong in these times, resulting in no harm caused to any civilian.
It was a remarkable retaliation befitting our ethos of peace and tranquility to the barbarity that happened on April 22, Pahalgam, deadliest attack on our civilians since 2008 Mumbai attacks. The Prime Minister of the country, Shri Narendra Modi, sent a message from India's heartland, Bihar, to the entire global fraternity. Those were not empty words. The world has now realized what he said is a reality. In the mechanics of war and fight against terrorism, a new benchmark has been set. Indian armed forces targeted Jaish-e-Mohammed at Bahawalpur, deep inside Pakistan territory, beyond international border, headquarters of Jaish-e-Mohammed, also Lashkar-e-Taiba's base, Murid. No one is asking for proof now.
Jammu and Kashmir's Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha on Saturday visited the line of control in Karna sector of Kupwara district to take stock of the prevailing situation and also assess security and developmental initiatives in the region. During his visit, the Lieutenant Governor interacted with the residents affected by cross-border shelling from various areas. He assured them with the government's unwavering commitment to their safety, providing adequate relief measures and expediting developmental works in the border areas. The Governor also chaired a comprehensive review meeting with senior civil and security officials to discuss the overall security environment, ongoing public welfare projects and issues faced by the local population.
प्रशासन के अपने साथियों का मैं बहुत आभारी हूं, जिन्होंने बहुत कठिन परिस्थिति में भी सदैव मौके पर डटे रहे और आवाम को कोई कठिनाई न हो, इसका उन्होंने भरपूर प्रयास किया। प्रशासन ने आकलन कर लिया है और उस आकलन के आधार पर जो अविलंब सहायता दी जा सकती थी वो दे दी गई है। जो क्षति हुई है उसका एक कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव प्लान डिविजनल कमिश्नर कश्मीर और सीनियर ऑफिसर मिलकर बनाएंगे। उस आधार पर भारत सरकार से अनुरोध करके लोगों को पूरी तरह से रिहेबिलिटेट किया जाए।
Manoj Sinha then visited the headquarters of Shakti Vijay Brigade in the Tangadhar sector. During the visit, the Lieutenant Governor was briefed on the ongoing operational developments in the sector, including the conduct and progress of Operation Sindoor. He interacted with the troops of the Shakti Vijay Brigade, commending them for their valor, high morale and steadfast dedication to duty. In a significant nationwide outreach effort, the 11-day-long Tiranga Yatra is underway across the country to honour the courage and sacrifice of India's armed forces, particularly celebrating the success of Operation Sindoor. People of Jammu and Kashmir's Kishtwar region participated in the Tiranga Yatra, honouring the Indian Armed Forces. Carrying the national flag and chanting slogans like Vande Mataram, participants from all walks of life turned the streets of Kishtwar into a sea of saffron, white and green. In support of Operation Sindoor, a Tiranga Yatra was also organised in northwestern Indian city of Udaipur to showcase solidarity with the armed forces and patriotism. People from all walks of life in Ahmedabad participated in the Tiranga Yatra rally, carrying the national flag and paid their tribute to the bravery and sacrifice of Indian soldiers. In Uttarakhand's Haldwani, people participated in Tiranga Yatra to honour the brave soldiers and to celebrate the success of Operation Sindoor. Haryana's Kurukshetra also conducted Tiranga Yatra. Large number of young enthusiasts participated in the Yatra, showcasing unity and pride with the armed forces. Moving on, the State Investigation Agency is conducting raids at multiple locations across central and north Kashmir. Sources say that the searches are in connection with an ongoing crackdown on suspected terror-related activities in the region. The searches are being conducted at Sopore, Baramulla, Handwara, Gandarbal and Srinagar areas on Saturday. In a significant breakthrough, India's National Investigation Agency has arrested 2 ISIS-linked absconders, Abdullah Fayyaz Sheikh and Tala Khan, at Mumbai International Airport after they returned from hiding in Jakarta. The duo was wanted in a 2023 case involving the fabrication and testing of IEDs in Maharashtra, Pune. During 2022 and 23, they had conducted a bomb-making workshop and a controlled explosion to test an IED. The NIA continues to investigate the broader network behind the 2 module and its possible links to other domestic and international terror plots. India's Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari is in Sao Paulo, Brazil. The minister interacted with the Indian community there and spoke about the immense potential of biofuels, green hydrogen, clean energy and flex fuel mobility. Taking to social media site X, the minister said he is deeply moved by the community's strong cultural roots and their vital role in fostering innovation and strengthening ties in agri-business, energy and the digital economy. Addressing the event, Minister Gadkari also highlighted ways to reduce carbon emission in the country.
इकोलॉजी एंड एनवायरनमेंट के लिए जो आज परिस्थिति है पूरे वर्ल्ड में, उसमें हमारे देश में मैं ट्रांसपोर्ट मंत्री होने के नाते 40% एयर पोल्यूशन जो है वो फॉसिल फ्यूल के कारण होता है। और अगर डीकार्बनाइज करना होगा हमारे देश को, विश्व को, तो उसकी एक दिशा ब्राजील ने दी है और वो दिशा ये दी है कि हमारे देश में, हमारे वर्ल्ड में यहाँ के किसान बायोफ्यूल में बहुत अच्छा कार्य कर रहे हैं।
We're heading for a short break, but still to come on DD India News Hour. Donald Trump pushes congressional Republicans to unite behind the tax bill. Kremlin says Putin-Zelensky meeting possible, but only if certain agreements are reached. And up next, we'll get you more details on the brutal murder captured on a TikTok live stream in Mexico, which is being investigated as a possible femicide.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back after that short break. You're watching the India Newshour with me, Deepika. Now, the Arab League convened in Baghdad on Saturday, bringing together leaders from across the region to strengthen cooperation and tackle urgent regional challenges. Ahead of the summit, heads of states posed for the traditional family photo. Among them, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, Qatar's Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah El Sisi, and host nation leaders, Iraqi President Abdul Latif Rashid and Prime Minister Mohammad Shia Al Sudani were all present. Earlier, Iraqi Prime Minister Al Sudani pledged $40 million towards the reconstruction of Lebanon and Gaza, both ravaged by recent conflicts with Israel.
We affirm here Iraq's contribution of $20 million for the reconstruction of Gaza and $20 million for the reconstruction of brotherly Lebanon.
And now let's get you quick updates on Russia-Ukraine ongoing conflict. The Ukrainian officials said that Russian negotiators have demanded Kyiv to pull its troops out of all the Ukrainian regions claimed by Moscow before they would agree to a ceasefire. Meanwhile, Ukraine rallied support from its Western allies on Friday as Kyiv and Moscow failed to agree to a ceasefire at their first direct talks in more than 3 years. Under pressure from the US President Donald Trump to end the conflict, Ukrainian and Russian delegates met to discuss possible resolutions. While Russia showed willingness to continue dialogue, Ukraine called for stronger Western sanctions if Moscow rejects Trump's proposed 30-day ceasefire. As soon as the talks ended, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky held a telephonic conversation with Donald Trump and the leaders of France, Germany and Poland. Ukrainians expressed relief and hope after Russia and Ukraine agreed to a prisoner swap. While the prisoner swap marked a positive step, many Ukrainians are cautiously optimistic, hoping it could lead to more substantial negotiations. The Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said on Saturday that Russian President Vladimir Putin could meet Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky, but only in certain agreements if they are to be reached.
Such a meeting is possible only after the work of the delegations of the two sides upon reaching certain agreements by these delegations. We consider it possible, but precisely as a result of the work and achievement of certain results in the form of agreements between the two sides. At the same time, when signing the documents to be agreed upon by the delegations, the main and fundamental issue for us remains who exactly will sign these documents from the Ukrainian side.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called on Saturday for stronger sanctions on Moscow after Russian drone killed 9 bus passengers in northeastern Ukraine. Commenting on the drone strikes in the Sumy region, Zelensky said pressure must be exerted on Russia to stop the conflict. Further, adding that without tougher sanctions and even stronger pressure, Russia will not seek real diplomacy. Ukraine Security Service said on Saturday that its drones have hit an ammunition depot in Russia-occupied Crimea, causing a powerful detonation at warehouses where military equipment, weapons and fuel were stored. Meanwhile, the Russian Defense Ministry said that its troops have captured the settlement of Oleksandropol in Ukraine's eastern Donetsk region. Moving on to the USA now, the United States lost its last AAA credit rating from a major agency on Friday as Moody's announced a downgrade to AA1. It cited rising debt and interest payments that outpaced those of similar rated sovereigns. Now, this move marked the end of an era as Moody's was the last major agency to maintain a AAA rating for US sovereign debt. Moody's warned it expects federal deficits to widen to almost 9% of economic output by 2035, up from 6.4% last year. As a result, it expects the federal debt burden to increase to about 134% of GDP by the year 2035. Now, Moody's decision to downgrade the United States from its top credit rating mirrors similar decisions from two other major US rating agencies, which are S&P and Fitch. Since his return to the White House on the 20th of January this year, President Donald Trump has pledged to balance the U.S. budget, while his Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has repeatedly said the current administration aims at lowering U.S. government funding costs. The administration's mix of revenue, generating tariffs and spending cuts through Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency has highlighted a keen awareness of the risks posed by mounting government debt, which, if unchecked, could trigger a bond market rout and also hinder the administration's ability to pursue its agenda. The downgrade came as the tax bill failed to clear a key procedural hurdle on Friday, as hardline Republicans demanding deeper spending cuts blocked the measure in a rare political setback for the Republican president in Congress. The U.S. Supreme Court on Friday upheld a block on President Donald Trump's plan to deport Venezuelan migrants, saying his administration tried to remove them without proper legal process under a rarely used 1798 wartime law. The justices, in a brief and unsigned opinion, granted a request by American Civil Liberties Union attorneys representing the migrants to maintain the hold on the removals for now. The Supreme Court, meanwhile, clarified that the administration was free to pursue deportations under other provisions of U.S. immigration law. The administration has accused the migrants of being members of Tren de Aragua, a criminal gang originating in Venezuelan prisons that the State Department has designated as a foreign terrorist organization. Donald Trump has invoked the Alien Enemies Act in a bid to swiftly deport them. Trump criticized the Supreme Court's action, writing on social media, while conservative Justices Samuel and Clarence publicly dissented from Friday's decision. On the other hand, a budget bill, long touted by the president as the big beautiful bill, hit a roadblock on Friday when lawmakers from the president's own party voted against it in the Congress. The bill aims to eliminate taxes on some tips and overtime income, boost defense spending and provide more funds for Trump's broader crackdown. Trump is pushing lawmakers in the Republican-controlled Congress to pass a bill extending the 2017 tax cuts that were his signature first-term legislative achievement. Now, the House Budget Committee's chairman, Representative Jody Arrington of Texas, has scheduled a rare Sunday night session to try again. And to discuss more on this, I'm joined by DD India correspondent Amritpal Singh. Good evening, Amrit. Now, this is a series of setbacks for Donald Trump so far. How is Trump going to react to this in order to strike a balance now?
Well, Trump is basically a fighter. He, gets back at, he's gotten back at the Supreme Court for junking his deportation program. He said that, they are trying to stall the deportation of criminals, of insane people, of what he calls aliens, etc., murderers and gangsters. That's what he calls them. Now he says basically the Supreme Court had ruled that in a 7-2 decision, saying that the immigrants hadn't given enough time to contest their deportation and the due process of law hasn't been followed, so he has to do that. He just can't pick them up and throw them out of the country. Donald Trump hit back at the Supreme Court, saying, though praising the two judges who dissented, taking on the rest of the Supreme Court, saying that, sleepy Biden allowed them to come into the country without any process, and now the Supreme Court wants us to follow a process, a long, lengthy, expensive legal process to throw them out. And as I said, he calls them murderers and gangsters, etc. And it is true. Some of the population indeed has been engaging in illegal activities out of these immigrants. Some of them indeed are criminals. But he's using that as a pretext to throw all immigrants out, all Venezuelans out. And the Supreme Court took took note of one particular case where one man was wrongfully repatriated to El Salvador and they couldn't get him back. So this is going to play out. I think the Trump administration would once again want to go in for an appeal to the Supreme Court to reconsider its decision. But given the fact that there was, on a 9-member bench, only two of them dissented, the rest of them voted for stopping this. It doesn't look likely that Donald Trump is winning this particular battle.
And also Trump is
Deepika?
facing turmoil within his own party as one big beautiful bill faces roadblock. Tell us more about this bill and why is this receiving a backlash?
Trump is, the conservatives in the GOP are the ones who are saying that, these kind of tax cuts that he proposes to give to individuals and businesses will harm the economy. They say, where will the federal budget be completed from? Then even on border immigration, given the backlash that Trump is facing from the courts. So, there is, although it's on immigration, not on border security really, but it's all about the spending. So, if the government goes in for spending cuts, they believe that this will harm the growth of the country. Now, more than that's their argument. But it's really the conservatives that he has a political row with, and that's the kind of politics that's playing out. But the House committees will try and work again. They've been laboring for months to get this through. So there is opposition of it in the Democrats as well, as the House Democrat leader Hakeem Jeffries said that he will not allow this to be passed at any cost. So he faces a battle within his own party and of course with the Democrats to get this through both the Senate and the House.
All right, thank you so much, Amritpal, for joining us and bringing us a rounded perspective on this. Moving on. Now, a brutal murder captured on a TikTok live stream in Mexico is being investigated as a possible femicide, a state prosecutor confirmed on Friday. Valeria Marquez, a 23-year-old beauty influencer with nearly 200,000 followers across Instagram and TikTok, was known for her beauty and makeup videos. Under police presence, a funeral mass was held for Marquez on Thursday as family and friends tearfully said their goodbyes to her casket adorned with a bouquet of white roses. As local media raises suspicions about Marquez's ex-boyfriend, the Jalisco state prosecutor stated that everyone connected to the case is being investigated currently.
Of course, we are investigating anyone associated with this girl, whether friends, relatives, acquaintances or boyfriends is being investigated or interviewed. This is part of any investigation to identify lines of inquiry.
Time to take a short break, but still to come on the other side. Israel begins Operation Gideon's Chariots. Basel is ablaze with excitement as countdown to Eurovision finale begins.
Our actions harm the planet. But the good news is, we can also mitigate some of the damage.
We store the waste material like metal dust, metal pins that accumulates so that we can use it later for painting or some other artwork.
We've invented our own alternative cement, which essentially is compatible with crop residues, because of which Agrocrete, the world's first verified carbon negative bioconcrete.
When my son died, I wanted to take my life too. I lost a child, but I have started an initiative and planted 500,000 trees.
As an alternative to clay bricks, we have come up with concrete hollow blocks that are environmentally friendly.
Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India News Hour. Moving on. The Israeli army released a video on Friday showing strikes on Hamas military infrastructure. The IDF, on a post on social media platform X, said that the IDF has begun conducting extensive strikes and mobilizing troops to achieve operation control in the areas of Gaza over the past day. Now, this is part of preparations to expand operations and fulfill the objectives of the war, including the release of hostages and the dismantling of the Hamas terrorist organization. IDF troops will continue to operate in order to protect Israeli civilians and achieve the objectives of the war. The Israeli military on Friday night announced the launch of the initial phase of a major new ground and air campaign in Gaza, codenamed Operation Gideon's Chariots. Approved unanimously by Israel's Security Cabinet on the 5th of May, the operation marks a shift towards the goal of reasserting control over the Gaza Strip and intensifying efforts to dismantle Hamas. In a statement, the Israel Defense Forces said it had carried out extensive strikes and deployed troops to key positions across Gaza as part of the campaign's opening maneuvers. The military described the offensive as a strategic escalation intended to achieve the full objectives of the war, including the liberation of hostages still held by Hamas and the group's total defeat. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un on Thursday supervised drills by its Air Force and underscored the need for a step up in war preparations as per state media KCNA on Saturday. Kim, who inspected anti-aircraft combat and airstrike drills by North Korea's 1st Air Division during the Thursday visit, called for all units in the entire military to bring about a breakthrough in war preparation. Still photographs released by KCNA showed Kim looking at aircraft and missiles with military officials and speaking with pilots. North Korea also slammed the US State Department for placing it on a list of countries that do not fully cooperate with US counter-terrorism efforts. Panamanians held a river protest on Friday, paddling canoes along the Indo River to oppose a planned reservoir intended to address drought impacts on the Panama Canal. Residents fear the project, set to begin in 2027, will displace at least 2,000 people and reduce water access in southern communities. Protesters called for greater inclusion in decision-making. Canal authorities stated the Indo River Lake project is the most viable long-term solution for securing water for over 2 million people and maintaining canal operations. Construction is expected to take 4 years, with 1 to 2 additional years to fill the reservoir. Romania's centrist presidential candidate, Bucharest Mayor Nicu Sărtan, held a video call with French President Emmanuel Macron on Friday ahead of final round of elections scheduled for the 18th of May. A video shared on Dan's social media showed Macron congratulating the pro-European candidate for his success in the first round of elections and assuring a solid partnership in the future. A recent survey showed Dan in a tight race with Eurosceptic hard-right lawmaker George Simon, who won the first round of the presidential election rerun on the 4th of May. NATO paratroopers carried out a large-scale airborne operation near the Belarus border in Latvia as part of Swift Response 25 drills. The exercise included Spanish Army aircraft dropping cargo and troops in southeastern Latvia to showcase the alliance's readiness to defend its eastern flank. Latvian National Guard Commander Gunārs Vizjulis emphasized that NATO troops stand ready to protect the region alongside Latvian forces. The operation is a part of a broader multinational military exercise reinforcing NATO's strategy for rapid deployment across multiple European countries. You're watching DD India News Hour, and now it's time to take a look at other stories making news around the world in brief. A total of 26 countries are taking part in Saturday's Eurovision Song Contest Grand Finale, with Norway opening the show and Albania in the closing slot. The so-called Big Five Eurovision's main financial packers, France, Germany, Italy, Spain and the United Kingdom, have guaranteed spots in the final alongside host Switzerland. Paddington Bear is making his West End debut with a new musical that will play at the Savoy Theatre in London from the 1st of November this year. Inspired by Michael Bond's beloved children's book series Paddington the Musical, it has songs and lyrics by Tom Fletcher, lead singer of pop rock band McFly. The book for the musical is written by Olivier Award-winning playwright and film director Jessica Swale. A Buddhist statue stolen from Tsushima's Kanonji temple in 2012 and recently returned from South Korea is now on display in the Tsushima Museum at Nagasaki in Japan. Due to security concerns, the museum has taken custody of the statue. Visitors gathered early to admire the artifact, which has been missing for 13 years. The special exhibition runs until the 15th of June, offering a rare chance to view the cultural treasure. All-new Phoenix Museum in the Rotterdam city of Netherlands is now open for public display. This comes just a day after its festive inauguration with Queen Maxima of the Netherlands. Showcasing a bold contemporary art collection and striking architecture, Phoenix Museum highlights migration's profound role in shaping the Rotterdam's identity as a dynamic port city. In a significant breakthrough, the US has approved its first blood test for Alzheimer's, offering hope for earlier diagnosis and intervention. Developed by Fujirebio Diagnostics, the test measures the ratio of two proteins linked to amyloid plaques, a key indicator of Alzheimer's. Until now, these plaques could only be detected via costly and invasive brain scans or spinal taps. While not a cure, the blood test could provide families precious time and clarity as well. The FDA has authorized the test for clinical usage in patients showcasing signs of cognitive decline. Tornadoes wreaked havoc on Friday in St. Louis, Missouri, US, leaving homes in ruins and survivors recounting their escapes. The storms tore roofs of some of the buildings, ripped bricks off of siding and down trees and power lines as the residents were urged to take cover. Speaking at news conference, city officials said over 5,000 homes may have been affected by the afternoon's outbreak of severe weather condition. Authorities report at least 4 fatalities and numerous injuries. As emergency services work to assess the damage, St. Louis braces for possible further severe weather condition. Moving on, famous spiritual leader B.K. Shivani of Brahma Kumaris is in Brazil for a series of lectures across the country. TD India's Shobhan Saxena spoke to the motivational speaker and Brahma Kumaris coordinators in Latin America about the growing influence of Indian spirituality in the region. Take a listen.
When you're in a profession of healing people, you're not just healing the disease of the body, but you're also interacting with the human mind. And the human mind is going through anxiety and worry because they have a disease in their body. And so as a healthcare professional, if we start taking care of our mind and our vibrations are healing the people before our treatment starts treating the body. So it was about taking care of your own mind as a healer so that you radiate that right energy to the people you treat.
I have been connected with the Brahma Kumaris for the past 46 years. And the headquarters of Brahma Kumaris is in the city of São Paulo. And here we offer retreats, we have meditation courses, we have weekly lectures, and daily people come for meditation early in the morning. Definitely the interest is growing because as the world becomes more difficult and stressful, people are looking for ways of changing the way of thinking and getting more spiritual power.
We're heading for a short break, but still to come on TD India News Hour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Union Sports Minister Mansukh Mandavia congratulate Neeraj Chopra on achieving historic 90-meter mark. Our Pragnananda seals yet another title, and this time in Romania. We'll get you more on this right after the break. And up next, we'll also get you the latest from day 4 of the ongoing Cannes Film Festival. Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India News Hour. Now, at a time when the global economy is facing what the United Nations calls a precarious moment, India has emerged as a rare bright spot. The mid-year update of the UN report titled World Economic Situation and Prospects projects India's growth at 6.3% in the current fiscal year, which is the highest among the large economies. Now, this momentum is expected to continue into 2026, with growth estimated at 6.4%. In contrast, the global outlook remains subdued amid rising trade tensions, policy uncertainty, and a decline in cross-border investments. You're watching DD India News Hour. Now it's time to get you all the latest from the world of sports. To begin with athletics first. India's golden boy Neeraj Chopra scripted history on Friday evening at the Doha Diamonds League by breaching the elusive 90-meter barrier in men's javelin throw for the first time in his career. The reigning world champion recorded a best throw of 90.23 meters, becoming only the 25th athlete in the history to cross the prestigious mark. However, despite his personal milestone, Neeraj Chopra had to settle for second place as Germany's Julian Weber stole the show with a winning throw of 91.06 meters. Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated Neeraj Chopra for achieving this historic milestone. In a social media post on X, he said, and I quote him here, "A spectacular feat. Congratulations to Neeraj Chopra for breaching the 90-meter mark at Doha Diamond League and achieving his personal best throw. This is the outcome of his relentless dedication, discipline and passion. India is elated and proud," unquote. India's Union Sports Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia also congratulated Neeraj for achieving the feat. He said, and I quote, "Historic feat. Heartiest congratulations to our javelin star Neeraj Chopra for breaching the 90-meter barrier for the very first time with a throw of 90.23 meters, securing second place at the Doha Diamond League 2025, unquote. Moving on to cricket now, the biggest cricket carnival, Indian Premier League, is all set to resume on Saturday as Ajinkya Rahane-led Kolkata Knight Riders are all set to lock horns with Rajat Patidar's Royal Challengers Bengaluru. The tournament, which has 13 matches remaining, will continue across 6 Indian cities, with the final now scheduled for the 3rd of June. Playoff qualification beckons Bengaluru, while elimination stares Kolkata Knight Riders in the face as the two sides meet in the 58th fixture. A victory for Royal Challengers Bengaluru over defending champion will guarantee a top 4 berth and clear the course for it to stake the claim for a top 2 spot. On the other hand, for Kolkata Knight Riders, a defeat will send the outfit crashing out. Now let's also take a look at the points table. Gujarat Titans and Royal Challengers Bengaluru share 16 points each, but the former is on the top position due to better run rate, while Punjab Kings are on the 3rd spot, followed by Mumbai Indians. 1 point separates both the teams. Now, 5-time champions Chennai Super Kings are languishing at the bottom of the points table with just 6 points from 3 victories. Rajasthan Royals have also managed to win only 3 games out of 12. So, it's a huge opportunity for Royal Challengers Bengaluru today. And to get you more on this, I'm joined by DD India correspondent on sports, Narayan Singh. Narayan, it's a very interesting day. First of all, not only the IPL is returning after almost a week, but also of the fact because IPL started with the same encounter that we're going to witness today itself. It's a win-win situation for RCB, but not as the case for Kolkata Knight Riders. How do you look at today's encounter, Narayan?
Deepika, a very important match, especially for the KKR, because it's a do or die battle for them. And today, if they lose this match, definitely they will be out of the tournament. They will be not in the race for the playoffs. But talking about RCB, an important match because they will try to get the top 2 finish that they has never got after 2026. That time in 2016, they finished in the top 2 and they were also the runner-up at that time. So most importantly, they will look that thing. And talking about the IPL is back after the 10 days this edition. Fans are very happy. If you take a look at the Chinnaswamy Stadium, where large number of Virat Kohli fans are there just wearing his number 18 jersey, white jersey, because as we know that he has announced a retirement from the Test cricket. So it's going to be an important match, but big headaches for the RCB also, because their many key players are not, especially their foreign players. Jacob Battle is not there, who is also an integral part of their setup, and apart from him, Lungi Engidi will not be there. And talking about their main leading bowler, he is also not there. He has taken 18 wickets for them. So few headaches for the Royal Challengers Bangalore, but the way they have performed this season is exceptional. And talking about their opponents, KKR, they were like an inconsistent team this time around, because the way they perform, they gamble, they are with top order. In the starting, they started with Quinton de Kock. But after that he was not able to perform, he was dropped, and Gurbaz was in the scheme of things. So I think that was some confusion, we can say that didn't stick to their playing 11. So problem is there for the KKR, but talking about overall things, it's going to be a wonderful thing for the fans that IPL is back after 10 days gap.
And especially when we look at today's encounter, who could be the X factor for both the teams respectively, Narayan?
Talking about the RCB, we know that a good team is there, but the performance of the Phil Salt going to be very important throughout the tournament. He has scored runs for the team, and today's match is very important, as we already said that to finish top 2 will be the prime agenda for the RCB. So his performance is going to be very important. And talking about KKR, there are the many players, but I think the performance of the Ajinkya Rahane will be key, because their top order is not working well, and Ajinkya Rahane is consistently giving that support to the team and coming in the crucial hours and giving those important runs to the team so that they can just be there. So Ajinkya Rahane, I think once again will be important, because the pitch, as consistently there is rain since in the past week in the Bengaluru, so it will be assistance for the bowlers too, because there will be a bit moisture, and also there will be some zip on the surface. So it's going to be difficult for the KKR batsmen too, but the record of the KKR at Chinnaswamy Stadium is wonderful. So they will take some, we can say that, a good thing from this fact.
All right, thank you so much, Narayan, for joining us and bringing us the latest on today's match. In chess, India's R. Pragnananda clinched the classic title in Romania after edging out Maxime and Aliritsa in blitz deciders in a dramatic 3-way tie-break. The 18-year-old Indian Grandmaster held his nerve in the final game, sealing a memorable victory in the opening leg of the Grand Chess Tour. In the blitz tie-breaks, the first 2 clashes, which were R. Pragnananda versus Firozshah and Vaishya versus Firozshah, ended in tightly contested draws, leaving the title hanging in balance. But it was in the decisive third game that Pragnananda stepped up, defeating Vaishya Lagrave to win the title. And now let's take you to the world of entertainment. At the ongoing 78th edition of Cannes Film Festival, India is inviting international productions and official co-productions for film shooting and post-productions as well. Special sessions were also conducted for foreign film delegation. DD India's Jaya Sinha has got this exclusive report. Take a look.
At the prestigious Cannes Film Festival, the Bharat Pavilion continues to draw global attention. A delegation of Brazilian producers and directors visited the pavilion, exploring collaboration opportunities with India's vibrant film industry.
I know that we have many things, common things to explore in terms of culture and history also. So we can for sure develop projects together with India, especially trying to learn how your style, Indian style, can influence Brazil in our way to shoot. You know, because you have a kind of very musical way to work, which is good for us.
I traveled to 5 different cities, and it was the most life-changing, incredible experience I've ever had. Just the people, the food, the energy, and there was just, India is really the microcosmos of the world, and I think that would make a beautiful, beautiful film.
The pavilion is showcasing the country as a premier destination for shooting and film production. From its diverse landscapes to world-class post-production facilities, India offers unmatched cinematic possibilities.
I think it's an amazing meeting, and I hope it could be more in the other editions.
Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Government of India has launched incentive schemes for international productions in India for live shoots as well as for animation, post-production and visual effects services, and for official co-productions with foreign countries.
Especially for countries like Brazil, they themselves are very rich in culture and finances, and Brazil is a very good ally for India, and it's very good if we do collaborate.
These panels are going to really help people and the co-production and the filmmakers to understand in terms of every logistics, in terms of funding, in terms of clearances, in terms of one window. It's not rocket science anymore. There will be people to help you.
Single window clearance, cashback incentives up to 40%. Audiovisual co-production agreement with at least 16 countries. At the crossroad of creativity and global partnership, India is definitely shining bright. With camera person Sumit, this is Jaya Sinha reporting for DD India from Cannes.
And as we wrap the bulletin, here's a little sparkle from the French Riviera to warm your heart. A fluffy Pomeranian has been turning heads on the Boulevard de la Croisette in Cannes, alongside her co-owners with the flair of a seasoned movie star. And that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download it right now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Deepika, and from all of us here in New Delhi, thank you so much for watching DD India News Hour. Namaskar.